Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, he doesn't look like a TV presenter. He looks like a fat plumber. But I'm also a Christian. I've been a Christian for the last 20 years, and it all began back in 1988. And this is my story. I went to hear a lady speaking, and she'd been healed of cancer. She had an absolute miracle happen in her life. And she was telling a group of people about her story. And at the end of it, she said, has anyone got any injuries or illnesses, because God will heal you tonight? And she knew that I was injured because I'd had a motorcycle accident the day before. I'd crashed at about 90 miles an hour because I used to race bikes. So I wasn't going to go out to the front and get prayed for, because that would be really weird, wouldn't it? So I just stayed in my seat. And then she said, does anybody want to know God as a friend? Not just for Sundays, but for every day. Through thick and thin, good or bad. You know, God loves you. And he doesn't care if you've got long hair, short hair or no hair. He just wants to know you. And I didn't want to. I had everything in my life. I had, a nice bike, a job, girlfriend, loads of mates. Everything was going great. So I just sat there, but I knew what she was saying was true. And I knew the people in the room, they had something different, something special. They had a bit of hope in their lives. I don't think for a minute that we just came here by accident and we die and go nowhere. I thought there must be a reason for living and a reason for all this. So I just sat in my seat anyway, but I knew she was right, and I think God was really speaking to me. But I got this really strong emotional feeling, and I cried my eyes out. And my friend sat next to me, he was punching me, saying, get a grip of yourself, sort yourself out. And this guy came over and said, are you okay, mate? I said, no. I said, I'm crying, I don't even know why. I said, I'm not, unstable or anything. I just feel like what that lady's saying is true, and there is a God. And he said, I think God's letting you know that he's real in a way that you'll understand. So he said, would you like to get to know him tonight and get to know that he's got a plan for your life, and it's much better than the plan you've got? And I said, no, I don't want to be a Christian. It'd be boring. You can't do this and you can't do that. It's a load of do's and don'ts and rules. I don't want to be a Christian. Anyway, I carried on crying, and eventually I said, okay, Lord, if you're there, I want to do it your way. I believe in you. And something happened that night. I knew what I'd done was real. And I walked out the door and I felt like a different person. I knew something real had happened that night. So then Monday came and I had to go into the hospital where I worked. And I worked with about 90 guys, and I had to tell them that I was a Christian. But I didn't really I was a bit scared because I thought they'd all laugh at me. So I just told one guy who had a big mouth, and he went round and told everyone and made it really easy for me. But then the guys would come over to me one at a time, and they'd say, look, Roy, we've known you for 10 years. You're not mental. What made you become a Christian? You were just one of the lads. And, they all had gaps in their lives. They had a nice family and, 2 holidays a year, but they had something missing from their lives. And I used to get to chat to these guys and tell them, about the things that God was doing in my life. It was really exciting. But since then, he sort of changed me a little bit, and hopefully I've become a little bit less selfish, and I've managed to get in some exciting places. And we went to Croatia and took aid out for refugees, and we went to Romania, and we've been preaching in prisons in Romania, and I'm involved in a group called the Christian Motorcyclist Association. And as you can see, I've got an interest in bikes, and God uses that interest along with my faith to reach people who wouldn't know him otherwise. My life has been an adventure because of what God has done in my life, and he can do it for you too. And that's my story.